Welcome back to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I, of course, am your host, KC Phoenix. And yeah, time for a daily thought. Also, by the way, I have not forgotten about the wacky news stories. I have found one about some cheeseburgers. So I might be doing that story and a few others. I'm just sort of looking, but just for those who, my longtime listeners, my Firebirds, I haven't forgot about the wacky news stories. I do plan on doing some. I may do some this weekend after I finish the tarot card readings, or maybe before the tarot card readings, because I'm doing the money readings this weekend for all the signs. So, yeah. Anyways, before I go any further, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Okay. So, I have a list of daily thoughts here, like titles and stuff that I haven't got to yet. And this one, I was about to do a different one, but then I changed my mind right before I started recording. There is no such thing as water under the bridge. And this kind of goes back to something I had mentioned before, where when you say something, you can't unsay it. It's like, that's why, again, I'm not that big on apologies. Because, again, if apologies fixed everything, we wouldn't need laws or policemen. I feel that some people, they say stuff, but they don't always think about what they're saying. And after the fact, they're like, oh, I may have hurt someone's feelings, or oh, I may have whatever. You can't put that genie back in the bottle. And because you can't put that genie back in the bottle, there is no such thing as water under the bridge. People will say, because obviously, they try to keep the peace. And they're like, oh, it's not a big deal. And some people, it really may not be a big deal, where you said something or done something, and they're like, oh, it's not a big deal. However, that doesn't mean that they forgot about it. It's almost like, I think about that Aretha Franklin song, Willing to Forgive, and like the chorus, it's like, I'm willing to forgive you, but I can't forget, because you really, 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 really hurt me this time. I guess, what is it? I guess I can go on, although I must admit, hold on, I guess I can't go on, I must admit. You'll be thinking that I'm going to mess around sometime or whatever. But I'm just more focusing on, I'm willing to forgive you, but I can't forget. That's the thing with the water under the bridge. It's like where somebody might say, oh, yeah, it's fine, it's cool. But then they're not really forgetting about it. So I think we all have to be mindful of our actions when it comes to certain things. That's why, believe me, I'll even tell you a quick story. Somebody I know personally that I used to date hit me up on my birthday. I haven't talked to this person since New Year's Day. And that was it. I haven't reached out to this person because I'm not looking to be in that person's energy. Because I feel they have a lot of growing to do. And the experiences that I've had with that person over almost a decade period of time, like seven years and some change, it's just kind of like, dude, I can't. I'm not dealing with it. That person has said some very, I'm not going to say hurtful things, But they've said some stuff where it's like, okay, wow, really? To me. And I could be that person. And just, because me, I know my words hold power. I know that. That is why I'm so careful of just going off on someone. Like, that's not me, because I know I can verbally eviscerate someone. Because also I'm intuitive, I usually know what to say. Because if you get into a physical fight with someone, that's whatever. Your wounds are going to heal. I know plenty of people who've been in fights. I've been in fights. Whatever. It's all good. Your wounds are going to heal. But if you can say that thing that can get into someone's head, that's going to take a whole lot longer to heal. And they may not even be able to heal from it their entire life. I'm that person that I will go for that verbally, where I will say the things that are true, because I'm not that type of person where, you know how some people, they'll just say something because they're angry, but there's not a lot of truth in it, but they're saying it because they're angry. I'm the person where if I get angry, I'm specifically looking for the truth, and then I'm lacing it with venom to make sure that it hurts you as much as possible. I'm rarely in that energy. But I could eviscerate this person. I haven't said anything. Just like when they sent me, a happy birthday text, I was like, thank you. Then they were like, oh, are you celebrating? I haven't replied back to the text yet. Because I know that there's a possibility that I may just go ahead and say some things. And again, there's no such thing as water under the bridge. Now, all the stuff that has happened between me and this individual, yeah, it's whatever. I've moved on. I'm living my life. The divine is blessing me. And by the way, shout out to the spirit team, because I had a dream about something this morning and it gave me the answer that I was looking for. So shout out to the divine and the spirit team. Pay attention to your dreams. But this thing, I moved on. The divine is blessing me. I'm doing my thing. I'm good. So if I never talk to this individual again, I'll still be good. I'm not picking up my phone like, oh, I need to text this person. All right. So whatever was said, yeah, it's under the bridge, but it's not under the bridge. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I forgave this person, but I'm not forgetting anything. I'm not forgetting the things that were said. I'm not forgetting the things that were done. And if I were to turn around and get in that energy of, oh, well, let me tell you one thing that you don't know about yourself, that type of energy, or doing, shady stuff, they may forgive me later on, but they're not going to forget either. Because again, there's no such thing as water under the bridge. The point of this daily thought is be mindful of what you say to people and what you do to people. Just like for me, where I've had a situation that I've been dealing with someone for years, and this individual has done certain things to me. For me, it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'm just moving on. I'm not going to get caught up in the energy. And I'm talking about a different individual now. However, even though I'm not getting caught up in that energy and I'm moving on, I'm not forgetting anything. There isn't any water under the bridge. It's like, okay, I remember that you did that. Yeah, we're cool. I still remember that you did that, and that, and that, and that, and that. So just be mindful sometimes, because I know that we get caught up in the moment and we want to do certain things, or we want to say certain things to someone. And yeah, I feel that if you find that balance and go in that 3G frequency that I always talk about: gracious, grateful, graceful. If you're in that 3G frequency, you'll be good to go. And you won't have to worry about whether it's water under the bridge or not, because you're moving in a 3G frequency. Gracious, grateful, graceful. So, yeah, that is my daily thought. There's no such thing as water under the bridge. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Until next time, thank you for the support. Be blessed.